Mercosur is the agreement between Europe and Central/South America. So we're talking about countries large and important as population like Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, also Mexico. So we're talking about a large population that together with Europe, it will touch 700 million people. This is important because we have experienced in these months all discussion with the United States about tariffs. So Mercosur has been tremendous discussion with Europe and especially with those countries like France, Italy, Spain, wide. Because if from one side we're opening the door, they are opening the door to our products that have been transformed, like cheese, like wine, especially, that up to now they are taxed with 35% duties, and those are going to go slowly but surely down to zero. It's going to take some time.
Welcome to another episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Each week, Stevie travels to incredible wine destinations, interviewing some of the Italian wine scene's most interesting personalities, talking about wines, the foods, as well as the incredible travel destinations.
So, welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us today. Hello, Lamberto.
Hello.
It's only in English.
Only in English, okay?
Unless you want to do in like Swahili or Chinese.
I'm going to try to polish my English.
Okay, excellent. Where are you, by the way?
I'm in Oregon at this lovely winery called Domaine Roy.
Oh, it's the one you just purchased, right? Recently?
Quite recently, was in July 2023.
Okay, so that's very exciting. Of course, you wear many hats, right? You're a Frescobaldi, you're an Elia, you're a Maceto. Now you have this winery in Oregon. Of course, you're a lot of things and you wear different hats. But today, I absolutely need to speak to you as Lamberto Frescobaldi, the president of Unione Italiana Vini, right? To talk about this
Indeed.
brand new EU Mercosur trade agreement for Italian wine producers above all, right? So what we'd like to do is to talk about a few things very briefly, because I know you're pressed for time, but understand what Mercosur is and recognize the significance of the agreement, first of all. So many people may not know what exactly Mercosur, how do you even say that, Mercosur is, and why is this agreement so important to Europe and for Italy?
Mercosur is the agreement between Europe and Central/South America. So we're talking about countries large and important as population like Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, also Mexico. So we're talking about a large population that together with Europe, it will touch 700 million people. And why is this important? Is this important because we need, we have experienced in these months, all the discussion with the United States about tariffs. But we need, I think the tariff, as many people know, harm who is receiving them, but also who is getting, who is doing them, because the prices, they go up, then at the end is inflation. So Mercosur has been endless discussion. Of course, is an endless discussion with Europe, and especially with those countries like France, Italy, Spain, wide. Because if from one side we're opening the door, they are opening the door to our products that have been transformed, like cheese, like wine, especially, that up to now they are taxed with 35% duties, and those are going to go slowly but surely down to zero. It's going to take some time, 8 years, the agreement.
Oh, 8 years. Okay, I didn't realize that because I downloaded, actually my colleague Manuela, she downloaded these pages and pages from the, which is the from the European Commission. So it's actually very long. Right.
Yeah,
So but it doesn't say it's going to take 8 years.
Yeah, there are going to be some wines like sparkling wine with prices above $8. But that tariff is going to go to zero right away. But straight away. Champagne and still wines instead from 35, they're going to go down step by step. So nobody has to get too excited about it. But at least there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And so the tariffs that are going to go down is going to be a great opportunity for us, but also for them, because they will sell to us also their products. What is a concern for some of us, some French, some Italians, and also some Spanish? especially people that are doing raw materials, people that are doing
Mm-hmm.
chicken, for example, poultry. Poultry is something that worries a lot Europeans because everything, hand labor in South America is cheaper, and so they're going to come at cheaper prices. I want to, however, say that we buy a lot of poultry, for example, from Thailand, from Asia, where also
Right.
much cheaper. So we have to face that in Europe, if we want to have a certain standard of life, we need to become more and more specialized on transforming. So when we transform, for example, a terrific product from Italy that is made with meat from Brazil is
Mm-hmm.
bresaola. Bresaola delle
Oh, is
Valtelline,
that right?
indeed, is
Oh,
made,
I didn't know that.
indeed, bresaola delle
I
Valtelline.
thought it was coming from like Piemontese.
Not really. It comes from an animal that is raised in Brazil. It's called zebu,
Mm-hmm.
and because it's very has no fat whatsoever, the meat is tender, is delicious. Comes to Italy, it becomes bresaola, and then is sold all around the world. So we are actually doing have important markup on the transformation, and then it goes around the world. So we have to become more and more good on transforming rather than only do raw materials. This is difficult, slash, is putting us quite a lot of pressure indeed. But if we want to have the standard of life that we've been enjoying these days, we have to become even better on transforming. If not, we're going to be wiped out.
So listen, Mercosur includes other stronger wine producing countries like Argentina, Chile. So how can Italian wines stand out in such a competitive environment?
Look, I've seen over my experience and my
Mm-hmm.
life going around the world, pretty much in my life, I've always gone in countries where wine is produced and wine is consumed. So
Mm-hmm.
very rarely I go in places where there is no vineyards. And there is something magic about wine is that where you produce wine, you pop corks. And you don't only open bottles of that location, but you also enjoy wines from other parts of the world. So also thanks to the amazing courage, because I always speak about the Italians having an amazing courage. They left Italy, they went around the world as immigrants, they left in poverty, and they became somebody and someone around the world, having tremendous success and becoming ambassadors of Italians. So we in Italy have to always thank them extensively and saying every time, thank you very much for your dedication. So those people that are ambassadors of products from Italy, think of Parmigiano Reggiano, think of wines from any parts of Italy, because no one was luckier than others. So we have Italians that left Italy from all over Italy. And so they took their experience, their passion of Italian products around the world, and they have become our ambassador, opening delicatessen and restaurants. And so, yes, there is a great opportunity with them. They're not going to be a huge market. Up to now, Stevie, Mercosur, before having this duty very strong, all of South America used to import 0.6% of our production. So
So
0.
it's relatively tiny.
Is tiny. But
Right.
may go, if it only becomes 3%, 4%, it's going to be relevant.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'll be significant.
yeah, indeed, it's going to be significant. So let's don't underestimate this market. And things do change very rapidly. So those countries that one day they were a little bit difficult in terms of richness are not anymore. Or they're actually very wealthy countries. Think of São Paulo in Brazil is very wealthy city, and there are opportunities for our products from anything. Of course, I'm talking as Presidente of Unione Italiana Vini, but I always think about also the food that we eat and that we produce here, and lovely to find it around the world. So food and wine go together.
Of course, you're a big guy, right? You're very structured. You come from, of course, a very long tradition of winemaking family. So big wineries in general may find it easier to enter these markets, right? You said it's like, 0.3% or 7%. So not even 1% at the moment, right? So, but what about the small and like smaller and family-owned wineries, the tiny wineries. I mean, you as a president of the Unione Italiana Vini, you're speaking for, the whole array of the entire compartment of Italian wineries. How can they enter these Mercosur markets?
Look, every market, every country around the world has a number of people that they import. They are importers.
Hmm.
So there are some of them that they organize and structure that they want to speak with companies, and some others that they want to speak with small family-owned little wineries. So there is a terrific opportunity for everyone. So let's don't say, I'm small. No, 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 no. This is not the case. As there are food distributors that they like to have the anchovies from Cantabrico and others that they want to sell something else. With the same is with wine. There are some distributors that they are specialized on smaller, very dedicated, very focused family wineries. So there is space for everyone. You wake up in the morning and you start running like hell, and you can get any place.
Yeah, get up and start running like hell. Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds good. That's a good quote from you. So the deal, from what I understand, also includes commitments on sustainability and food safety, for example. How does this align with Italian wine?
But this is one of the facts that we has been discussing and is yet one topic. So we need to have controls when the products they come in. With wine, it's quite easy because you can do lab tests, and if there are some products that are not allowed, as we go through, we export. We Italians. When I say we, of course, it's Italians. We as Italians, we export all over the world, and there are some countries that they don't want certain products on the wine that could be acido ascorbico, that is something very simple, that is a stabilizer that comes from like lemon. So, for example, Japan doesn't want it. So we also we go through all of those kind of difficulties. Now it's a question of putting them down because this Mercosur now is pretty much there, but then now has to be signed,
Right.
and signing is not yet done, but is around the corner.
When will it take place? Like in few months or
But I hope that it's going to be in a few weeks, in a few
few
days.
weeks? So
About
it's imminent.
yeah, anytime. I think that pretty much what happened within us and the United States has given the push to look at other countries, and this is actually very important to look at other countries. Very difficult to have another country as important as the United States. We have.
Yes, of course. So just one last questions before we close. Looking ahead, do you see this agreement as just like as an economic opportunity, or do you also see as some kind of cultural change?
I think that these days we have become even faster people of the world. People, thanks to what we're using, Instagram, people are really able.
Which you don't have. You don't
I
have Instagram.
don't have
But we
Instagram.
found a way,
I
thanks
don't
to
have.
Jacopo.
I don't have Facebook. I'm a disaster. But said that, most of the intelligent people do have it, and they're not like me. And so you're able to surf the world and see other people. Yet, I think that it's important to, with all this amazing opportunity that we have these days, and our kids are going to have even more, is yet to transmit your own identity. So I believe that we have to be open. I think that is a big mistake to close ourselves. Shut the door is when you are scared. But if you know how to play the game, you have to open your door, but yet retain part of your history, part of your heritage. And that is going to make you even more intrigued and interesting to the people that want to know more about you and you want to know more about them. So let's be friendly. When I say friendly is let's don't have fear of what we don't know.
Hmm.
Because out there are a lot of good things beyond what people love to read that is only bad things. But out there are lovely opportunities, great people. When you travel, I always say to myself and to others, when you travel in your suitcase, leave a part of your suitcase empty because gonna have to take back home what you have experienced out there.
So
So
this is a travel hack.
it's a travel hack.
So I think this is a good place to close. Thank you so much for joining us today. Lamberto Frescobaldi today. He's wearing his President of Unione Italiana Vini hat today. And for all of you who joined us today, we will also replay this on our Italian Wine podcast. So keep following us. And for more live chats and stories from World of Italian Wine. Until next time. Arrivederci. Ciao Lamberto. Grazie mille.
It was a great pleasure. Grazie a te, Stevie.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Join her again next week for more interesting content on the Italian wine scene. You can also find us at ItalianWinePodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. You can check out our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, to watch these interviews and the footage captured at each location. Chin chin!